Yesterday, in Denver, Colorado, the 6th annual ProPolice Rally, Law Enforcement Appreciation Day rally, took place at a venue called Civic Center Park in downtown Denver, near the Colorado State Capitol, which, by the way, is in absolute disarray. There's a fence around the building itself because vandals managed to mark it up dramatically with all sorts of graffiti and more. They've torn down statues outside the state capitol. There's a Policeville right outside. Remember Hooverville, all the tents? Well, this is like a Policeville where you have at least dozens of tents outside the Colorado state capitol. It is something else there. So we gathered together, a number of us, for the 6th time in a 5-year period. So first time was July 19th, 2015. This was not a random event that has never occurred before or that was specifically tied to the protests that we're seeing across the country. This is something that has been going on for years. And I've been a proud participant for, I think, maybe 5 of the years in downtown Denver. And I've been able to perform harmonica along with the band, and it's always a good time. It is really a wholesome time. It was family-friendly for years until yesterday. Yesterday, the band, with yours truly sitting in on the harmonica, the Becker Band, played a song, and then we're going to play cut 1 here in just a moment, Nathan. We performed a tune, and then brought Ron MacLachlan, who will be our first guest on. We said the Pledge of Allegiance. And then things started getting pretty hairy. Here is, from my vantage point, some video I took yesterday at the ProPolice Rally, Colorado, at downtown Denver Civic Center Park.
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is all they can do. They cannot let you speak. I'm so thankful that you guys came out in the midst of all this foolishness. And now I want to invite up the founder of ProPolice Rally, Colorado. Well, we give thanks to God right now. Ron MacLachlan, are you here?
You can see the so-called protesters entering in from all sides. Ron MacLachlan up there now, saying an invocation. Those are not police sirens, by the way. So that's how things began. At a later point, not too long after, some fights broke out. Let's go to cut 3 from yesterday. The band was playing a tune, Folsom Prison Blues. I stopped. I could hardly hear myself on the harmonica anyway, so I stopped, and then that is what happened, where one, and I presume Antifa, somebody, so-called Black Lives Matter, attacked one of our people who were there once again for an annual rally, a fun event with music. There are 2 things, as I bring on the organizer, Ron MacLachlan, that I want you to know about what yesterday tells us. Number 1, make no mistake about it. These radicals are not peaceful. A peaceful demonstration was happening. A peaceful celebration was happening. Music was playing. And they stopped it forcibly. They are not with honor or decency or with some genuine intent to right injustice. People who want to right injustice don't perpetrate injustice. That's number one. It reaffirms what we know about Antifa and these radical elements of Black Lives Matter. I know there are a lot of people who support Black Lives Matter, and they are well-meaning, well-intentioned. They show up for peaceful protests. They want genuine change. I have friends who are exactly that way, and I respect that and I appreciate that. And I don't really even disagree with it. I think there needs to be reform of our police in several different areas. But how they acted demonstrates everything we have been saying on this program about them, such as with Basil Baz, who will join us a little later on the show. And by the way, I do want to note that I was looking around. I would guess probably about 95% of them were white. This was not people who have faced some sort of racial injustice trying to express their frustrations about it. It's far more maddening than that. Number two, it is pretty clear to me that the police were told not to act in a way to contain the situation. I don't fault the officers who were doing their jobs. As frustrating as it was for me and many others yesterday, they had their orders from the chief of police, probably had it from the mayor. You'll see some more video today from my vantage point predominantly, and some photographs on what happened yesterday at the ProPolice Rally, Colorado, 6th annual Law Enforcement Appreciation Day gathering put on largely by lead organizer Ron MacLachlan, who I am pleased to welcome to Jimmy at the Crossroads right now here on the program. Ron, my friend, welcome to the show. It's good to have you.
Oh, Jimmy, thank you so much. Thanks for being there yesterday, and thanks for having me on the show today.
Well, I appreciate it, and we'll get to why you have some coverings on your forehead here in a moment. But I want to ask you, what happened yesterday, Ron MacLachlan?
It's chaos. We've been doing this for a long time. This is actually the 12th event that ProPolice Rally Colorado has put up in the last 5 years. And this is the 6th one to be put up in downtown Denver. It wasn't easy. I was able to get the permit, the insurance.
Ron, if you could please speak just a little bit louder. You're coming a little quiet.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. It was unfortunate in many ways. There are a lot of really good people that came out yesterday to have a good time, to celebrate their men and women in law enforcement. And these guys need to have that celebration. They're completely under the gun at all times. But it was overran by a group of people that see things a bit differently. And it could have been handled differently by our police as far as I'm concerned. The sheriff, or not sheriff, but the chief and I did speak on Thursday and again on Friday about this event. I was on the phone with another member of the police department leading up to this event throughout the day, and what was going on across the street. I had people that were watching to see how things were going to unfold across the street. They were unimpeded. They got riled up, and they were just let go. And eventually the guys that really wanted to do what they need to do, which are the police guys on the grounds, eventually they were allowed to actually step in. But at that point, they were doing not much more than just showing a presence, and they were allowed to overrun the people that we have a permit. It's a space that we've been at consistently. It's our 6th one. The chief knew very, very well what was going on, and they never put anybody to block anybody from coming in to see us. That's unfortunate.
Ron MacLachlan, when you were in contact with the police, particularly in the lead up to this rally, what did they tell you? Did they support your effort to do this, at least the chief of police and his top brass? Did they discourage you from holding the rally? Did they suggest other venues?
Now, bear in mind, for the last 6 weeks, we've really been pushing this on Facebook. At that point, we weren't at quite 60,000 feeds. that have gone out. 3,000 likes, another 1,000 shares on just my page alone, not to mention everybody else's page. Thursday afternoon, I get a phone call, and they're asking me if I would change the venue and move it over to Pepsi Center and be out there, not like inside the Pepsi Center, but out at the Pepsi Center where there would be space to put us up. Why? They were afraid that something like this might happen. There's a group of an organized group that's on the other side of the Veterans Park over by the Capitol. That's all about socialism, or not socialism, basically communism. It's ridiculous crap that these guys are into, from my perspective. But they were concerned that these guys might come over, and and the chief also said that if we have this event, that we're going to go backwards and not forwards. And I asked the chief, I said, how is it possible for us to go forward if we give in to the bullies? If we don't stand up for what we believe in our own city, how is that going forward? By giving in to these children. And that's what these guys are. These are little kids in
They
black
were blowing
pajamas.
bubbles. Children blow
It
bubbles.
was, but they scream, they yell, and they pitch a fit, kind of like that girl on Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory. Give me more. It's beyond the pale. And I didn't see how moving the venue would make sense. A mile down the road, as if they're not going to walk a mile down the road to make a statement. That doesn't make sense. My insurance that I have for the event that I carry, it's specific to a location. How could I, once I moved the venue, that it would be done. We wouldn't have been able to have the event. And the idea of coming back next year, when everything is all calm and cute and sweet, that doesn't make sense either. In the meantime, in that conversation, however, the police did let me know that for the last since basically May 28th, that there's been mischief and mayhem, rioting going on in our city every night. Anywhere from 30 to 300 people going through different neighborhoods and terrorizing these neighborhoods. So how, in any way, shape, or form, is that how is that a win? So we give in to these children that are pitching a fit, and yet the citizens that are having their lives disrupted every single night, that's okay, they can put up with it. We're going to tease these children. That says a lot about what's going on with our mayor, how he wants to end our city council. Everybody is always in a hurry to throw the police officer under the bus, like picking the pepper out of the fly poop on any incident whatsoever. But the reality is, these men and women, they are the messenger. The message is coming from the people's mayors and their city councils. But you never see a mayor, you never see a city council person say, hey guys, that's our fault. We thought this might work, but it didn't. That never happens. They just keep throwing these men and women in law enforcement under the bus. And when they do that, they're throwing us under the bus.
So,
it's ridiculous.
again, we're talking with Ron MacLachlan, who is the lead organizer of ProPolice Rally Colorado, the 6th annual Law Enforcement Appreciation Day event that happened yesterday in Civic Center Park in downtown Denver, just a couple blocks from the Colorado state capitol. Ron, in terms of the safety situation, I mean, there are those who are, like us, advocates of the police who say you should have changed the venue because police were put at risk. And if you really care about the police, you should change the venue. What do you say to that particular critique?
I don't believe the police were actually put at risk. I believe the police were held back and we were put at risk. I believe that if you really want to talk about the 76 police officers who've been injured since May, that's because their hands were tied by our chief and the mayor. They're not allowing these guys to go in and just finish this and put this to rest. So if you're going at half mast or half speed, that's when you get yourself hurt. And trying to put this on my neck, like, oh, it's your fault, you had this event, now you're the evil bad guy. Well, okay, fine, do it. But if we don't stand up, that means we're standing down. And standing down to me is not acceptable. We have a split division going on in this country right now that is ridiculous. And it's really about communism and capitalism.
Well,
And
Ron,
so
let
you
me
keep getting
amplify
your fascists in between.
Let me amplify your point for just a moment by saying this. Look, the mere fact that they felt empowered and emboldened to be so brazen. Let's put some footage, please, Nathan Matoush, producer extraordinaire, on the camera there, on the screen here. Because look, the reality is that that's some vantage point from a distance when the swarm came in, that they felt so empowered that they could get away with this, and they did. They essentially did. I saw reports of one arrest that took place, and it is stunning to me that they could feel so able to be so brazen and so vicious in this kind of an assault. Now, I want to put up a couple of images here because things did get pretty tense. We can see that you have a bandage on your forehead, Ron MacLachlan. And I want to show pic 14, and I saw this from my friend Deborah. Flora had posted this, a fellow radio host at 710 KNUS here in Denver. That is your forehead in the beginning after you had been attacked. What happened, Ron?
Well, tried to break up quite a few scuffles, to be quite frank with you. You know, I don't want anybody to be in a fight. I don't want people to get hurt at all. At that point, on that particular situation, I was Lowe, who was the guy that is the lead of our band, was trying to get his bike out through the crowd to get where he needed to go to just get out of there. And I saw people were getting in front of him. So I went down there to try to help clear a path so he can get him and his bike out of there safely. And these guys were standing in front, and it became like a mosh pit. And there was some pushing and some shoving, and next thing I know, some kid hits me. I think it was with a longboard across the face. And then another guy comes up with I don't know, one of those amplifier things on top of my head. And that's what you call a peaceful protest.
Yeah.
Sure.
Ron MacLachlan, I want to show a picture as well. We tried to keep the spirits up. This is pic 15. Which I wanted to get a selfie of the two of us because things were so tense. At that point, you just had a big bandage wrapped around your forehead. And so, we tried a little bit of levity with a smile here. That was a selfie from yesterday's ProPolice Rally where things got especially intense. So, Ron, where do we go from here? Where do we need to go from here in Denver, Colorado, and around the country? Riots are beginning once again in Seattle. We're seeing chaos start to it seems, expand ever more across the country once again. What do we do, especially when the police have effectively been neutered by their political overseers?
Well, first thing I think we got to do is unleash the police for the safety of the people.
When you say unleash, what do you mean? What do you think should have happened differently yesterday?
Well, when I mean unleash, I'm not talking about just yesterday. I'm talking about since the 28th of May. Like you said, we've allowed people to get emboldened. There's no consequence whatsoever for their actions. And the beginning of growth begins with accountability. So we need to round these people up. Seriously, just round them up and incarcerate them, and then pick out what you need to pick out from that point forward. And go through whatever process we have to go through. If you get a speeding ticket, if you rob somebody, if you burn somebody's house down, if you beat somebody up, there's consequences. Well, we got to start using our consequences. If the people that are in office right now are not willing to stand up for the citizens that put them in that office, then those people need to be replaced. There's got to be something somewhere, somehow, legally that says if you're not protecting the best interest of the people in the city that you govern, then there's got to be somebody who takes over for that. They can't have absolute power to decide, oh, let's just go ahead, burn this section down. Y'all have a good time because, oh gosh, life has been so tough for you. What about the people who had their business burnt down, or the houses that have been torched? Or the windows that are broken. Look at our city hall. Look at our state capitol. Let's just tear down some more statues. Let's just go ahead and paint it. Let's break a few more windows because, damn it, we got to let these guys get it out of their system. This is beyond the pale, Jimmy. And we have to unleash the police, allow them to arrest these people and put them where they need to be. And start going through the process of holding them accountable for their actions, as well as the people that are orchestrating this garbage.
So in terms of unleash, I just want to be very clear because you and I are on the same page here. That unleash does not mean let them do whatever the heck they want and get abusive, because we have seen instances of abusive police. There are things that need to change in policing across the country. What you mean is that they have a very tight leash around their necks in terms of not even being able to do their job. I was talking with a friend of mine, good friend, who is a police officer in Georgia, and he was explaining to me just how terrified the police are across the country, that they don't have cover from protection from politicians. Politicians are trying to, as you said, throw them under the bus at every occasion. They're putting significant restrictions on them. And so they're like, what am I supposed to do? And then when they actually do something and take some sort of action, even if it is reasonable under the current existing rules, they are penalized for it.
The politicians don't want to be accountable for anything. All they're trying to do is cater to whatever they believe is a base that will give them more power. In the meantime, if today it's popular to throw the police under the bus, they're going to. But it's more than that. It's about the tearing down of our society. Look at what these organizations are. They're Marxist organizations. This really isn't so much just about the police. It's about tearing down. You split, you divide, and you conquer. So if we can get rid of you feeling good about your police department or feeling safe, then you can control fear. You can't control the faith. If a person believes, and faith means belief. If you have the belief that you can get up and have a better day today than you did yesterday, and all you've got to do is roll up your sleeves and go to work, and you have a path in which you can go to, that's hard to control. But if you're in fear that, oh my gosh, I have to look over my shoulders, now the person who's got you in fear has the control of you, and that's what this is about.
Ron
This
MacLachlan.
is about control.
Yeah, I think you're right on there, and the mere fact that they were able to do this yesterday in a peaceful demonstration is abhorrent, and the mere fact that they did it shows how dangerous they really are. Ron MacLachlan, we got to run. We've got a great lineup coming up. I really appreciate it. I'm glad that you were safe. You're okay after being assaulted yesterday. I appreciate it, and best wishes to you.
Hey, Jimmy, thank you so much. And I just want to say to all the guys, you, Randy, Casper, Basil, Michelle Malkin, Julie, I forget there's
Sheriff
I don't have my
Ream's
list
coming up
of them.
next.
Sheriff Ream, boy, is he a neat guy. You know, Lowe and the band, all the people that came out and the guys that came to help keep it organized as best we could. I cannot thank you guys enough for being there. Thank you, Jimmy.
And let me just say about the band being, I mean, I hardly even got to play with them, and I couldn't even hear myself play for the little bit that I was playing. I saw the look on one of the band members' face when he was just like, I'm out. I can't be here anymore. It was a look of absolute terror, and that says a lot. Ron, my friend, great to be with you.
Hey, Jimmy, thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too. Once again, Ron MacLachlan, lead organizer for 6 different occasions, 6 years now, although twice a year, the ProPolice Rally, Colorado. One rally happens in Douglas County in the spring annually, and then another you have in the summer on the 3rd Sunday of July. Thanks for watching this clip from Jimmy at the Crossroads. You do not want to miss a minute of engaging, intelligent talk. Subscribe today to the Jimmy at the Crossroads YouTube channel, and you'll be sure to catch our live broadcast. I appreciate your support.
I got Jimmy at the crossroads, making sense out of no sense. Yeah.